Final thoughts on this Intercontinental in Cancun. I've been here now for 6 nights, and that's definitely long enough to get the gist. So when I got here, there was a problem with getting my room. I booked it through a third party, and I do that a lot with IHG because IHG often gives you a much higher rate than you'll see on a third party. How it works with third parties, and they do not want you to know this, but it's how it works with a lot of, no, not all hotels, is third parties will buy a block of rooms and then they sell them for a discount. More than they paid, but whatever. And it's kind of like they're betting that they'll be able to sell this room for this price, and the hotel is betting that it'll be worth it to them to sell this room at that price. Well, oftentimes the hotel becomes more busy and then they made a bad deal for themselves. And then you get to the hotel and they're overbooked and they've sold that room to someone else, but they'll tell you, it's always this, that the third party has a big problem and they made a mistake in the booking, and it's not them, it's the third party. They sent them the wrong thing. So if you do book from a third party, like Skyscanner, VO, any of those, right? If you find a great deal on the room that you want and it's way less than, say you find a room that is $600 on the hotel website, but you get your points and you get your perks, or it's $400 on the other site. You don't get any perks, but who cares? Do you see? It's $200 extra at night that you'll have to spend on whatever. So it's a no-brainer as to whether you'd want to use what you'd want to do in that situation, right? So if you see this and you do it, take all kinds of screenshots and get the confirmation of the room that you have, and then don't back down if they try to tell you that that was a mistake, because you paid for that room, you have proof you paid for that room, and escalate as much as you need to if they try to pull that. And I guarantee you, if you travel a lot, it will happen to you. That's what happened here. So I was really in the lobby for like 3 hours before I really got in my room. The manager figured out how to put me in this room, and when I tried to log into the Wi-Fi, it was under someone else's name. So I don't know what that they did with that person, but basically that's what happened. They were trying to give me a room that was like lagoon view, no balcony, and I booked a room that has an ocean view, terrace, balcony, which is what I wanted because I was here for dental work and I wanted to be able to just relax with a nice view and not have to mingle on the hotel grounds. Anyway, so I got the room, but it wasn't like easy or painless check-in by any means. And then he was kind of offering me other things like points and stuff, and I was like, I don't want points. I want the room I booked. Like, I really just want the room I booked. That's it. So just a word to the wise. Now, I'm coming back for more dental work. I'm getting Invisalign, and I'm getting it here in Mexico over getting it where I live in the United States, because for the same price in the United States, I'd be getting Clear Correct, just similar to Invisalign, but it's a little bit less expensive. But also, after I found out that they lied to me about telling me that I needed a tooth pulled, which the x-ray here and 3D scan showed it was perfectly healthy. They told me that I needed these crowns replaced. Again, x-rays here showed that they're healthy. One of the crowns is damaged and I do need to replace it, but I need to do this after I get the braces. There's no problem with the tooth. And I was told by 2 holistic dentists that there was. So I just don't really want to spend any money in the United States on dentists unless I knew somebody personally and knew I could really trust them. But the ones, my whole story, I'll tell it one time, with veneers began when I went to a cosmetic dentist and had 2 different sets of veneers in the United States that it was just 2 nightmares. So that's how I ended up finding out about Mexican dental work, is out of necessity. This Intercontinental, not many kids here, which is great. Some people bring their kids here, but I'm like, God, what cheap parents. Bring your kids to a place with a slide, I mean, it's really not a kid hotel. It's not a kid hotel. It's a couples hotel. It's a convention hotel. It's not all inclusive. The food in Carabinho I had twice was freaking terrible. It's also really slow. So Carabinho is the one that's by the ocean. It's a really nice view right on the ocean, but Do you see all my coffee cups in the back? They keep bringing me more coffee because they know I like coffee. So they're like, here's cups, here's more coffee. Anyway, Carabinho is, I had the first day aguachile, which I like. It's kind of like ceviche, except it was really, the shrimp were really raw, like clear raw still. And it was, I know that you can serve it that way here and it's okay. It's cured with lime juice, but it was too raw for me. So I did not like that. And then the guacamole I had that day was just like, it didn't have any salt. So that wasn't good. Then I went back there again and I got 3 different things, which I'll put a video up of. And all of it looked good and all of it tasted bad. And it took like an hour to get. Then there's this other restaurant here that's an Italian kind of place, I think. It's upstairs. I did not go there. I don't know what their food is like. The food in the club, I don't understand why people like to pay for the club unless they're heavy drinkers, because it's just little desserts, snacks. For breakfast, you could get like better stuff. The breakfast, I guess, is decent, but you could also just buy your breakfast and get whatever you wanted in your room and not have to sit with other people. It's a pretty club here. It's nice, but I don't personally, but I don't drink. So, you know, maybe the club is worth more to you than it's worth to me. But I didn't find the club food to be like worth it. It's not like when you're in Asia and you're getting like an amazing breakfast buffet that's, you know, out of this world. It's not like that. It's just, it's fine. It's fine, but they do have a nice view from the club here. So if you had a room without a view, maybe you would like to sit in the outside part and look at the view. Okay. The restaurant here that I love is called Le Cap, and every time I've eaten there, it's been amazing. I've had, well, I love the pear carpaccio, is incredible. It's thin sliced pears, gorgonzola, pecans, maybe olive oil or something. It's really good. And the, what else do I love there? The bacon wrapped scallops are amazing with some sort of like papaya chutney and avocado, really good. I've had that twice. And there are these shrimps that are fried in some sort of noodles. They're crispy kind of wheat things that are cool. They're good. Everything I've had there's been good. So I've just basically been eating there all the time. There are restaurants that I could walk to from here if I wanted to eat at them that are casual. I haven't done it, but I have walked to them. I went to one pharmacy here that a cab driver took me to, and I wanted to buy some Valium, and I was very much overcharged, and I knew that, but I was like it was twice as much as it should have been, at least twice as much. But I just let it go because I was like, oh, well, consider it charity kind of thing. I don't know. But I would say if you're buying anything here, number one, probably just better to walk in and don't have the cab driver bring you, because they always are getting some sort of kickback from that person. When they start giving you free things along with your order, you know that they've screwed you. And then ask for just like one box of something and get the price, and then leave and go ask, you know, ask at 3 or 4 or 5 places if you really want to get a good price. And I need to write down, I'm gonna go into some pharmacies while I'm here if I walk around and figure out what the price really, really should have been. Yeah. Intercontinental, so I like it enough to come back, provided I have a room that's the same category as this one, meaning I have this view and this balcony. You cannot get sun on this balcony, and also there's no real sunrise or sunset view because of the angle of this. So it would be even better if you had a sunrise or sunset view, but it's just set up where you will not get either. The beach is nice. There are plenty of chairs, and it's a very private beach because it's between some beautiful homes and condos. And so it's not a lot of other, it's not like hotel guests from other places, or it's not people really on the public beach, although every beach, I guess, technically is public, but it doesn't feel that way. It feels very exclusive. It feels very safe. Not too many people hawking stuff. People will walk by trying to sell you like necklaces and stuff. Unfortunately, they're really loud. They're always walking by yelling like beads, 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 or whatever they're saying, or mango, mango, mango. I don't know. It's kind of like takes away from the peace of the beach. I really feel like if they do allow vendors, which I prefer not to have vendors be on a beach, but if they were to allow them, if they made it more, if they have to be silent about it, not yelling, I don't know. I am not a fan of the culture of being loud or yelling in any way. Just don't like it. But I do love being in Cancun. And I met a guy who was staying at this hotel who it was his first time in Mexico. And he looked, how can I say? He had a few tattoos, but looked overall preppy, like a normal guy from Utah. And maybe like in his mid-30s. He was walking to get to an ATM because he didn't realize there was one in the hotel, because the ATM in this hotel is hard to find. It's behind like a wood door in the lobby. So if you're not really looking for it, you'll never find it. It's not clearly marked, but ATM is a good place to get money on your card, and say no to the exchange rate so it goes to what the current exchange rate is. By the way, that's a tip. But he went across the street to maybe an OXXO or one of those kind of stores, kind of like a 7-Eleven type store. And then was looking for the ATM, came back. He doesn't speak any Spanish. Now that's not great, but you know, what are you gonna do? And 2 cops pulled him over, made him empty his pockets, and kind of harassed him for like 20 minutes. And then he finally convinced them, showed him his room key, that he was staying here, and they let him go. But I've never had anything like that happen to me, knock on wood. And I don't know any other person who has either, but I felt so bad that was his first experience. Like, he's gonna think that's how Mexico is now, you know? So, I don't know. Learn a few words of Spanish, maybe even, I'm not saying, probably that'll never happen to you, but it is good to learn a couple words of Spanish. And like, if you're looking for ATM, just look up what is ATM in Spanish on your phone and be prepared with saying, looking for an ATM. All right, well, thank you for watching, and stay safe and travel soon.